and Zach 2.0, the reboot. Listen, here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. This is phase one, and I'll tell you, Joe Douglas knows it, Saleh knows it, everybody knows it. This is phase one of determining whether or not the Jets have a new general manager, head coach combo in a year or two. This is it. You know, and I don't mean just solely based on, all right, I'm like, if Zach has a rough day in Philly and in Pittsburgh because he's rusty, I don't mean that that's the final determination. But this is the beginning of really the last leg of evaluation before let's face it, we have confidence that they got it right with Zach at number 2, you know? Listen, the clips during the summer, and they're fun. They get you through some dog days for sure. Seeing Zach in shorts and throwing 50-yard bombs and dimes and lasers and bullets all across the practice field. We got to start seeing this in games. And that's it. You know, we are no different than every other NFL. Well, hold on. I was going to say we're not different than any other NFL. We actually are different from every other NFL city because we can never actually get the quarterback that basically every other NFL city gets. But why we're not different is the method of evaluation, and maybe more specifically, guys, the timeline for evaluation. It's just sped up. I mean, there's no way to circumvent this. So I cannot wait to watch this Jets-Steelers game. Who knows what we're getting? I go in with an open mind. I think you guys know I generally tend to go a little more optimistically than negatively. But don't get me wrong, I understand. You know, from most Jet fans saying, I got to see it. I got to see it. It's a leap of faith otherwise. You're not wrong. You know, think about this guy. If we're lauding, and which we have because there really wasn't much else to hang our hat on outside of that 60-yard bomb to Corey Davis on the broken play last year against Tennessee. Like, if we are lauding Zach Wilson as the guy, as the future, as the savior, just because he had, a 6 or a 7 game interception-less streak to finish up the year, I mean, that's a good starting point. But we got to start seeing something here, Hoff. We got to start seeing points. We got to start seeing wins. We got to start seeing splash plays. We got to know soon. I don't mean Sunday at 4:03 when the game is over, because it's probably going to be a little rusty, and Steelers defense is good, and it's on the road. But we need to know whether or not Zach is the guy. Because one thing I'm not doing anymore, and I did this with Sam Darnold, and it drove me nuts. It was a colossal waste of time. It was completely without reward, and it really was just, at the end of the day, I got some of my Sam Darnold takes were just embarrassing as I look back. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm saying, and I tweeted a lot of this stuff in the moment. Well, you got to get him some talent, and you got to get him an offensive line. You got to get him some guys who can get some separation. You got to get him a couple of tight ends. You got to get him an innovative coaching staff. All those things applied. They did. But let's face it, at the end of the day, Sam Darnold couldn't even beat out Baker Mayfield out in Carolina. You know, Baker's another bum game away from Sam playing, and let's face it, Sam probably cementing once and for all, if it hasn't already happened, that it was just a misread, a sloppy draft choice, the wrong one, not only by the Jets, but then obviously by Carolina, maybe thinking that they can, pump a little life into his quarterback life here. You got to know. You got to know. And we can sit here all day, and we have all summer, and we did, about the infusion of talent. But doesn't that get old after a while? I mean, jeez. Doesn't that get old after a while? Now, it's funny. Let's say that Daniel Jones was a rookie, all right? And we were evaluating Daniel Jones based on what's around him now, which is really a complete absence of skill position players outside of Saquon Barkley. It would be incredibly unfair to really definitively diagnose what we thought he was, because you don't know. Nobody's open. Well, that's where I give Joe Douglas credit. He changed that. He went from nothing on the depth chart to players that all the other pundits around the NFL talk about. Dan Orlovsky's tweeting away, Garrett Wilson's a superstar. This guy, Ryan Clark, this guy's really good. And I respect when those guys do it. That doesn't mean that they're right. But they're not reacting to fandom. They're reacting to film. So it is undeniable that when Zach Wilson breaks the huddle Sunday in Pittsburgh and then moving forward, that he is finally going out there with weapons, with answers, with enough stuff to give us an answer. And now listen, I do think the answer is going to be more favorable than not. I mean, but what does that mean sitting here on what is today's? I don't even know. It's almost October. September 30th? What does it mean? It means nothing. I mean, I can say this till I'm blue in the face. I mean, I could think about this. I could get on the air, right? And I can just tell you and wax poetic about the amazing arm slots of Zach Wilson, the amazing ability to improvise and go off script and make things happen downfield, rolling out of the pocket, throw it against the grain, using his feet. He's got every throw in the book. I could do that. Much like, and we've done this over the years with Yankee and Met prospects, we can tout somebody coming up as a young pitcher. Oh, he throws gas. Oh, he's got a sick curveball. Oh, his changeup is big league ready. And then he gets up here and he can't find the strike zone or he can't put guys away. Eventually, you need to show that you can play. So, like if I'm solid, I'm Douglas, and I'm everybody else in that building, I am emotionally, see, this is an interesting, delicate dance that I know that they're doing. I am emotionally galvanized because you are now inserting somebody that most of us believe is going to be the answer. We believe that based on the very obvious physical talents. But if he's not the answer, then everybody's out of a job. And they know that as well. 877-337-6666. Tiki and Tierney on the Fan. Tiki is off today, making that big NFL money, doing NFL games. Speaking of money, Tiki made a little loot for a great charity last night. You see him on the Wheel of Fortune? You see this? Dole, do you have this? I'm just curious. You have this?
Loaded and ready.
Okay. So we had a soccer game last night. And, go to the diner afterwards, take the kids there. And if you saw my tweet, the lack of pickles from delis is embarrassing. What the hell happened? And don't tell me the recession, because it was like this before. What the hell happened to pickles and coleslaw and the garlic bread and the refills at diners? It's embarrassing. So anyway, I take the kids to the diner, and I'm getting hit with these tweets. Oh, Tiki's on, and I knew he was on the Wheel of Fortune. It's awesome. Tiki's on the Wheel of Fortune. I'm sitting there saying, oh, man, I can't wait. I'm going to get a little national pop. Tiki and Tierney. Oh, my partner, BT. Yeah, he's a little nuts. He's loud, but I love working with the guy. Been with him 10 years. Let's see what my partner actually had to say.
Tiki Barber is back. You were here, what, 21 years ago? Do you know how you did last time?
I don't remember.
Well,
we looked it up. Good thing or bad thing.
I looked it up for you. You won $22 million. But I guess with those NFL deals, that hardly made a dent in everything. You look great. Look like you should be playing now, as a matter of fact.
I just can't take the hits anymore back.
Other than that, I can run. Is there a day when you know that you say, it's time to
Yeah, it felt that way for me at the end. In 2006, I decided it was my last year.
Was that the last year?
Yeah, I walked away from it. And then they won a Super Bowl. Good job, guys. Appreciate you.
But you were the inspiration, I'm sure.
I like to tell myself that.
So you've done a lot of stuff. You've been on Broadway, and you're doing a radio show now.
Yeah, I'm on wfan in New York. There's a lot of passion in New York sports.
Here we go.
I was on Kinky Boots and Broadway. What? It was amazing. One of the most
quick transition.
Inspiring professional things I've ever done.
It is New York. I mean, New York's a tough town. It's a great
Another
town.
Chance, T. Get the plug.
If you're in the sport world, you better perform.
Yes. Well, you better perform, and more importantly, you just got to leave it all out on the field, and that's how they love you. If you leave it all out there, even if you come up short, you got to give it your all every time.
Is that it? Where's the show reference, Huff? What are we doing? What are we doing? Where is the Tiki and Tierney reference? And don't say it's about my ego. It's not. That's a layup, dude. Because the other two celebrities that were next to Tiki, they didn't get the intro that Tiki got. Tiki was first in line. Tiki got the longest one. There were windows there. Oh, Pat says, listen, if you don't perform in New York, it's tough. Well, Tiki could have said, yeah, that's right. It's tough. Me and my partner, BT, we're going to light you up on the fan. You guys, if you're not playing hard, we're going to get after. Huff. What is that?
I think that was a poor edit job. I don't know, because there's so much there. All he had to say was, I'm on WFAN, 10 to 2, Tiki and Tierney, simple, easy. That's all he had to do. And he missed the boat.
He did. Now, somebody was saying that this used to annoy Carton when Boomer would do this as well. I don't know if Boomer did or did not do it, but that's what somebody said. Yes. Is it too much to expect a little pop for your partner? Is it too much? Like, am I out of bounds with this? Am I off base?
He shout out all the team from 2007 that went to win the World Series, went to win a Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, listen, I won't even get him on that. Listen, he is known because of his Giant days. Yeah, you establish the pecking order. Understood. And let's face it, on the national level, the Giants are more important than WFAN. On the national level, you think about it. But there were windows to slide it in. Oh, Teak. But I think he did very well for charity. So that's what really matters. If that sounds petty, it's not really meant to. I would have given him a pop, though. Huff, I would have slipped
you would have given us all pops, probably.
I would have.
Definitely Tiki, for sure.
I would have. 877-337-6666. Tiki and Tierney on the fan. All right, so, this is one of those days where you just wake up and it's like, all right, what if you're a Jersey guy, and I'm not a Jersey guy at this point, but if you're a Jersey guy or a gal, what jersey am I rocking? Am I going Judge? Am I going Yanks? Am I going DeGrom? Who's pitch? If you're a Met fan, am I going DeGrom? Am I going? Hey, by the way, Alvarez called up. Maybe you got the top prospect jersey there. What are you doing? You got the Giants who are trying to get to 3-1, and you've got, which is what I started with, this reboot of Zach Wilson. And it might not be pretty immediately, but it needs to be clear quick that they made the right choice. All right, 877-337-6666. Tiki and Tierney on the fan inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Our friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Jobs are at stake. There's really no other way to say it. Jobs are at stake. And we need to start seeing the foundation of the future of the Jets at quarterback this Sunday in Pittsburgh.